everyone, it's Lauren from Lifted Jeeps and Glover Custom and Off-Road. We want to dive into some of the different options out there for flat towing your vehicle behind an RV. Jeep is the perfect platform to pull behind your RV, but there's also lots of other vehicles capable of this as well. Let's jump into flat towing with Jared to see what Glover Customs has to offer.
So let's talk flat towing. So towing a vehicle behind an RV can be a little bit tricky, and a lot of people, when they don't really know where to start, there's several people that have a lot of experience with it and they know exactly the setup that they want to roll with. But then there's some people that are brand new to RVing or brand new to Jeeping, and they don't really know the exact setup that they need. So our experience with this goes way back to when I was a kid. My family's always been into RVing, and with our Chevrolet dealership for, summer trips or winter ski trips, we live in Oklahoma. We would always go to Colorado, and we'd tow either a Tahoe or a Suburban, and we'd always set it up with a Blue Ox tow bar and a tow plate. There's lots of options out there. We love working with Blue Ox. And so that's kind of where we cut our teeth. And then fast forward 20 or 30 years, and now we have the Jeep brand, and Jeep is perfectly set up for flat towing. Everything from the Wrangler to the Gladiator, but actually anything with a 2-speed transfer case that Jeep makes is able to be flat towed. So that goes all the way down to the Trailhawk Cherokee, which we don't have anymore on the new car side, but there's always options out there pre-owned. And then starting with the Grand Cherokee with the Trailhawk, the Overland, and the Summit, you have the ability, if the vehicle has 4 low, which is a 2-speed transfer case, you have the ability to shift it into neutral and flat tow with all 4 wheels on the ground. And then we also have that option with Ram trucks and that same platform in the Wagoneer and the Grand Wagoneer. So my family and I'm sure we can add some pictures of this video. We towed a Grand Wagoneer Series 3 Obsidian to Lake Tahoe this summer, and it was fantastic because we have 4 children, and 6 people don't fit in a Jeep, unfortunately. I would love Jeep to add a third-row seat to a Wrangler. So if you are watching, Jeep, give us a third-row seat Wrangler. You would solve at least my family's wishes. But anyways, we towed a Grand Wagoneer, and it was perfect. We had the vehicle we needed. We had all of our car seats with room for our coolers and everything. We bounced around to national parks and had a ton of fun hiking and seeing all the sights out in California. So what I want to talk about is flat tow options when you're setting a Jeep up to tow behind an RV. So with the Wagoneer, we had a tow plate that we actually got to be a part of with Blue Ox. We sent them a Wagoneer about 2 years ago when it first came out, and let them design the first tow plate for Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer. So when you're looking, if you're shopping Wagoneer, you need to know if the vehicle has the max tow package from the factory or not. Those are the 2 options with the Blue Ox tow plates. If you have the max tow package, that means you have the lower tow hooks, and that's where that base plate will come through. If you don't have the max tow package with the tow hooks, the base plate's a little bit different, and it comes out through the bumper. You've got to do a minor modification to make that work. But for flat towing, there's 2 different options for tow bars. You can either do the traditional hookup to the actual tow plate, and that connection is universal. The tow plate is not. It's specific to the configuration of your vehicle. Goes behind the factory front bumper. We actually did that setup today, and I'm pointing over here because we have an RV with their Jeep hooked up, and they're going to be leaving the lot here in just a minute. But the traditional hookup, and then you can tow directly from an off-road bumper. So Blue Ox makes an off-road bumper adapter that basically turns the 3-point into just a 2-point crab claw, and it connects right here to the D-rings of the bumper. So any off-road bumper will work for this. There are some options out there that have 2 D-ring points in the same bumper, which gives you a perfect spot to hook up your safety chains. Or if you go this route, we added eyelets that are rated for the weight for safety chains straight into the frame horns of the Jeep itself. And then one thing we offer, the next step would be brake lights. So for taillights, we have a couple of different options. We can set it up pre-wired to hook straight into your RV to operate with the Jeep's taillights. For a long-term application, this is probably the best route for me because we switch vehicles because what we're driving is typically for sale. I actually got a set of Bluetooth taillights that connect to the RV. There's a Bluetooth sending unit that activate the taillights at the back end of whatever we're towing. I created a metal T-bar that goes straight into the receiver hitch of the Jeep, of the Wagoneer, of the Tahoe, of the truck, whatever we're needing to tow for that trip. And the taillights sit on that metal T-bar. They're magnetic. They run off of AA batteries. We just keep backups in the RV so we can always make sure we're charged up. And they're bright LED. They work with your turn signals, your hazards, and everything. So that's one option. It works out best for us because typically if we're towing something that is for sale, then I don't want to do all the wiring because the person buying it might not need to flat tow it. So that works for us. What works best for you is to actually wire it in to operate the Jeep's factory taillights. So the third option is the setup that we have over here. So these pieces right here, this is from a company called Maximus 3 that they do some really cool specific purpose accessories. And if you see what they've done, they've designed a lower tow point that connects straight to the frame horn in two different places, really big heavy-duty hardware. And we can run the tow bar right here and bring the safety chains right behind it. So this is my preferred method because it doesn't scuff your bumper. So inevitably, if you think about two pieces of metal that are, rolling down the road with minute movements as the Jeep is being pulled behind the RV, starting, stopping, turning, inevitably it scuffs your powder coat a little bit on your bumper. So the best way to do it with the Maximus 3 tow points, if they do get scuffed up or messed up, you can just pull them off, have them repowder coated, and have it looking brand new. But your bumper stays looking good the whole time. So we've talked about some different options. We've talked about taillight setups. The Bluetooth setup has worked wonderfully for us. The last thing would be emergency braking. So Blue Ox makes what's called, it's their Patriot brake system. We just installed it in the Wrangler that's taking delivery today. And it's basically operates off of a safety switch. So think a kill switch on a boat. So coiled up wiring connects to a point right here on the front bumper. And if it pulls, it activates the brake inside of the Jeep to where if the Jeep does come detached from the RV, the brakes activate and it will stop itself on the highway. So if you guys have any questions about any of this, please reach out to me, Jared Glover, jglover@jimglover.com, or Mike Burris is the brains behind all of this with Glover Customs and Off-Road. He can work up a quote, he can talk about options and configurations, whatever you want, and he is Mike at glovercustoms.com.